Kale Kayihura was the face of crime. And so for his role, whether he was commanded or not, he must answer for that.
Kayihura didn't know that he would be a hunted person. He was the one hunting down everybody. They killed nearly 60 people during the Kayunga riots, killed nearly 40 people during walk to work, and they thought they would go away with it.
It is now news that General Kale Kayihura is going to be retired from the army. I got sources indicated that the former Inspector General of Police, General Kale Kayihura, is going to be retired. We all remember in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, he was disappointed by his boss, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, from his position as the IGP. And charges were preferred against him. Among the charges which were preferred against him was aiding and abetting kidnap, not protecting war materials, and several others.
The courtroom was filled to capacity. General Kayihura listened attentively as the court-martial chairman, Lieutenant General Andrew Guti, read to him the charges.
General Kale Kayihura, between the year 2010 and 2018, on various occasions, allowed the issue of arms and ammunition to unauthorized persons, to wit, members of Boda Boda 2010, headed by one Abdallah Kitata. General Kale Kayihura, between the year 2010 and 2018, failed to supervise and ensure accountability for the arms and ammunition issued to units referred to as specialized under the office of the IGP, with Flying Squad Unit, Specialized Operation Unit, Count 3, aiding or abetting kidnapping from Uganda, contrary to Section 19, subsection 1, clause C, and Section 242 of the Penal Code Act, Cap 120. Particulars of the offense. General Kale Kayihura, between the year 2012 and 2016, by omission and commission, aided and abetted the actions of subordinate police officers and others on various occasions without hindrance to kidnap and illegally repatriate Rwandan exiles, refugees, and Ugandan citizens to Rwanda.
These cases were charged in the court martial. Okay? But before I talk on this, I want to let you know that if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There is a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel to keep your eyes on. Before we continue, we must first have to know who is Kale Kayihura. Kale Kayihura is the longest serving Inspector General of Police since we acquired our independence. Kale Kayihura was a Bushwar general. He was appointed to the office, served as the Inspector General of Government, the Inspector General of Police, and in fact, in my opinion, is one of the serving military generals who fought and guarded the state using constitutional and unconstitutional means. In fact, during Kale Kayihura's tenure, he was one of the few people who could wield a lot of power in the police. He was able to create militias like Boda Boda 2010, who he could use to manipulate and do unconstitutional means. He protected General Museveni's government by all means. And today I got news that General Kale Kayihura is going to be retired. First of all, in the UPDF Code of Conduct, a soldier is not allowed to retire when he's still having pending cases in the court martial. So, by retiring Kale Kayihura, it means that even the cases which were preferred against him are going to be dropped. I've ever done a video about Kale Kayihura pleading with General Muhoozi to be forgiven. If you have never watched this video, I'm going to leave the link in the description. So, I think by retiring General Kale Kayihura, it means that the cases are going to be dropped. That is why I don't believe in the court martial. First of all, the court martial, I take the court martial as a kangaroo court. The former MP of Nakawa municipality, Kabaziguruka, went in the constitutional court to bar the court martial to bar civilians from being tried in the court martial. And the courts gave out a ruling that this should stop. The Attorney General, Chiriwa Chiwanuka, appealed against this until up to now, civilians are still tried in the court martial. Secondly, as to why I don't believe in the court martial, these court martials are normally used to try soldiers for definitely political reasons. I think if Uganda was to get a good justice system, of course it may not be good, but at least a better justice system, General Kale Kayihura would be charged in these normal courts. Okay, I remember when General Kayihura was going to be charged in the Makindye court, he sent a militia known as Border 2010, and they refused the court's overall from sitting. Can you imagine? A whole Inspector General of Police sending a militia to stop the courts from sitting.
The hallowed grounds of marching the Magistrate Court were turned into an arena of bedlam yesterday when an irate mob threatened to arm lawyers prosecuting the IGP. This has since then elicited heated debate and condemnation from the Chief Justice and Uganda Law Society. However, the Director of Police in charge of Human Rights and Legal Services, Elismas Twaluhukwa, has scoffed at claims that the mob was a carefully calibrated plot to spread terror and fear.
And that's why the Constitution provides for courts, and courts are supposed to exercise their powers on behalf of the people. And the Constitution says they are independent, they are not subject to the control or direction of any authority. If one side or the other are going to organize mobs to prevent the courts from doing their job, prevent lawyers from presenting the cases of their clients, then I think something is fundamentally wrong, and we must address it as a country, as a government, but as a country, as citizens.
That is the day I got to know that even our court system, even our judiciary, is under state capture. Secondly, in 2022, when different generals were being retired, Kayihura's name never appeared on the list. But now it has been confirmed that Kale Kayihura is going to be retired from the army. So is he going to be appointed again as the Inspector General of Police? But also, if these charges are dropped, then what was the essence of imprisoning Kale Kayihura for almost a year? What was the essence of trying him? Okay, despite having a lot of human rights violations under his hand. So I think General Kale Kayihura will go in history as the longest serving IGP in Uganda, but also one of a kind who presided over human rights violations in Uganda. Okay, Kale Kayihura, we all know that Kale Kayihura was regarded as a cadre for the NRM. General Museveni used to call him the best cadre of the NRM. That's why he used to protect this state with all his heart, using constitutional and unconstitutional means. And to me, I think General Kale Kayihura is the worst Inspector General of Police who has ever served under General Museveni's government. In fact, right now when Ochola took over from him, you barely see Ochola in the news going around the country like the way Kayihura did. Kayihura was although he used to protect his government with his whole heart, but I think he was also very ambitious. Okay. And this goes to all public servants, to all those who are appointed in big offices. If you are shown an office and you are given a responsibility by General Museveni, don't think that you are president too. Okay? Because I've seen very many big people leaving power. I've seen those many people who could get you arrested by their own words, but they have gone. So it's better for if you're holding any position in government to do what is right. Okay. And we all know that Gen Kayihura was sanctioned by the United States and the British. We all know what it means.
Just hours after the U.S. Department of Treasury issued tough sanctions against the former Inspector General of Police, General Edward Kale Kayihura, the embattled former police chief has rubbished the sanctions.
As a person excited that there is someone who is able to call Kayihura to order.
The victims of Kale Kayihura's heinous activities while in office will be happy that some action has been taken against him.
We actually wish it had happened during Kale Kayihura's reign, such that he could be stopped in his tracks. Many of these atrocities were committed under his watch, under his beacon, under his orders, so he should be solely responsible, plus a plethora of others.
Kayihura didn't know that he would be a hunted person. He was the one hunting down everybody. They killed nearly 60 people during the Kayunga riots, killed nearly 40 people during walk to work, and they thought they would go away with it.
General Kale Kayihura is just the beginning of a long list of people who are being pursued for crimes they have committed. Kale Kayihura was the face of crime, and so for his role, whether he was commanded or not, he must answer for that.
It was because of the human rights violations. There's a lot of human rights violations under General Kayihura's hand. The famous Nalufenya torture chamber was under him. The mayor for Kabale was tortured under his tenure. Very many abductions, okay? Very many political activists were maimed. I'm not saying these things have reduced, but Kayihura Kayihura's face used to carry all these tortures. Even during his tenure, the budget of police was almost tripled, which is not the case during Ochola's tenure. Even when the police tortures, even when the police kidnaps, okay, Ochola's face does not carry this because he keeps under the curtain. Secondly, all the torture scenarios in court, all the torture cases in courts point to CMY. But on General Kale Kayihura's, during General Kale Kayihura's tenure, all these atrocities pointed to the police. And we all know since General Kayihura loved a lot being in press, his face carried these tortures, which is not the case with General Ochola. That's why General Ochola is always under the curtain. It's very hard to see Ochola coming out to comment on these things. Yet if it was his former boss Kale Kayihura, he would be all over social media, all over TV stations explaining bogus charges against political activists and against citizens. So I think they are going to drop General Kayihura's cases, and we shall see what will unfold. That is Kale Kayihura for you. Thank you for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. Peace.